Hey everybody, my name is Esther and I have Parkinson's disease. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit follow. So I'm going to talk about Schmex today. I haven't in a while, but I was scrolling through LinkedIn of all places, and I saw that an old post by APDA, the American Parkinson's Disease Association, about an intimacy kit they have. And it reminded me that this is a problem that a lot of people struggle with Parkinson's. And there are amazing resources out there for us, but like a lot of things, people just don't talk about it. And so if you're new to my page, Schmex is a term that I use instead of SEX so that I don't get kicked out of the algorithm. um, Problems with Schmex are very common in people with Parkinson's disease, and they tend to follow in a couple categories. So there's a lack of Schmex drive or a physical inability to achieve arousal or erections. And there's something called anorgasmia, which is an inability to reach the big O. And then there's hyperschmexuality, which is often brought on by the dopaminergic medication that we take, specifically with the dopamine agonists, but it can happen with all of the dopaminergic medications. So anything that boosts your dopamine can have that side effect, those side effects. So I've talked in the past about how after I got on medication, experienced hyperschmexuality. And I spoke with my doctor about it. And again, I'm not an expert on any of those things. These things you should talk to your doctor. But he took me off one of my medications, and for me that helped me a lot. But it's something that, for whatever reason, people I think aren't forthcoming about, like with their doctors, and that's a big mistake. But I think it's also something that people aren't forthcoming about with their partners, and I think that's a big mistake too. Because just like there's changes to our ability to regulate temperature, blinking, constipation, urinary control, all these things are tied to the automatic functions of our body. And obviously things around sexuality are automatic functions of our body, and they change with the disease and with the medication. And so it's really important to get to know your body again. You are the expert on your body. And that's why I think kits like this are really important, because it's really, I think, destigmatizing the fact that you need to set aside time to explore what works for you in the area of arousal and things like that, as somebody with Parkinson's, but as you're someone taking these medications that can affect that as well. So I strongly suggest that people do take that time to masturbate, flick the bean, choke the chicken. I don't know what we're going to call it, but you know what I mean. In a healthy way, to figure out what works for you. Because I know, even just for like brushing my teeth, I use the other hand now, and I do that when I wash my hair too. So we have to adapt, we have to change. And I think intimacy is such an important part of that, because it is a really natural source of dopamine, which, as you know, we all lack. And frankly, intimacy is a big part of how, they say it's the glue that holds our relationships together in our marriages and whatnot. And I think that's really true. And so we shouldn't discount it, because in these times where we're struggling with things physically and a lot of times emotionally, and have a disease that tends to wreak havoc on our mood, things like Schmex can really help boost our mood and our dopamine, and bring us closer together if we do it in a really healthy way. And don't be ashamed to explore things and try new things, and grow in your relationships, even with Parkinson's. And if you're on the other end of the spectrum where you have problems with arousal and things like that, definitely talk to your doctor about that, because there are a lot of medications and other interventions that can be done to help those problems too. Because just because we have Parkinson's doesn't mean we can't have healthy Schmex lives. So anyway. I hope this helps.